Hi. Being human without judgment. Oh boy, how many times in life do we want that? And especially, how can we recover from any kind of nasty statements until we got a space with no judgment? And so often, judgment is a part of so much in our lives. People judge the way we dress, the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we look, the way we act, whatever we say. I mean, it's just on and on and on. And it gives us shame and embarrasses us, takes away our self-confidence, makes us feel like we want to go backwards and redo something in our lives. And yet we're just human. And the faster we don't judge ourselves, the faster we don't see ourselves as defective, the faster we heal. It's hard. It's not easy. Gosh, no, it's not easy. But it can happen. And it can happen easier, faster, with less effort. If you put yourself around people who don't judge you, if you learn, I know it's so hard to learn to walk away from people who make you feel bad, people who criticize. What'd you do that for? Where'd you go there? Why'd you say that? Oh gosh, how often we don't want to hear that. We just don't want to hear that. We want to hear, gosh, that color looks nice on you. Oh, you look a little bit sad today. Is there something you want to talk about? I bet you've had a cold. Your voice sounds just a little off. Those are inviting sentences. They invite you to be a part of somebody else's life. Maybe like this flower. They quietly invite you to something sweet, something gentle, something kind. And that's what we want from life, isn't it? Something sweet and gentle and kind, and yet understanding. And one of the hard parts about having a really good friend is being able to accept whatever kind of, not criticism, but comments or suggestions or advice or positive, kind statements. They mean so much. They really do. But it's real hard to find somebody who's able to do that. Most people are just really biased, narrow-minded, brass, unsympathetic. Well, I guess I shouldn't say most people, but those who are not afraid to speak, those who are afraid to speak up, very often stumble over their own words. And it's so easy to inflict pain, even if you mean not to, even if you mean to help somebody. And I think the most important part of what I'm trying to get across in this video is that I've learned over the years that we are human. We are all just human. We make mistakes. We speak out of turn. We stumble, we fall, we trip, we fumble. We all do that. We all have behaviors that we wish we could take back, or times that we've said something we wish we could take it back, or times that we've done something, we've lost our temper. Oh my gosh, how many times have you lost your temper and wish you could take back? Whatever happened, even if it was small, because you never know how much something even small is going to affect somebody else. You just never know. Some of the most innocent statements could be taken wrong. And that's why we really have to recognize that we're just human. And these things are going to happen. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to say something we shouldn't have said. We're going to do something we shouldn't have done, especially if we're in pain. And so often we are in pain. It can be mental, it can be emotional, it can be physical pain. So many different kinds of pain. And there's so many different ways to try to overcome it. I mean, drugs and alcohol and gambling or crazy shopping or just lashing out at others. All of those are ways to try to ease our own pain, wanting to feel better, trying to increase the strength of your own ego by stepping on somebody else. There's just so many ways that different people make choices about what they want to do to overcome whatever pain they're feeling. And too often, that causes more pain. And that's why this is just a reminder. Just a reminder, you're human. You're not defective. You're not shameful. You're just human. And as a human, we make lots of mistakes. The trick, of course, is to learn from them. The trick is to work on being kinder, to work on treating other people the way you want to be treated, to be able to be genuine. I mean, some people just have a real snarky way of talking, and they never really get over it. And some people are so damaged by either what someone else has done to them or childhood, or who knows. They just don't get over it. But those who really, really care about other people they will get over it, and they can, and you can recover from shame and lack of self-love and lack of respect for yourself. If you can just recognize we all feel the same way. We all do. We all make mistakes. All I can think of is something off the top of my head that happened in Florida a couple decades ago. There was a real evangelical born-again Christian minister who was just all the time slamming other people about their behaviors and their thoughts and their ideas and so forth and so on. I mean, he was just one of those ranting and raving types who just carried on so much. And he carried on to the point that there were a few began to wonder, golly, does he have these thoughts himself? I mean, why is he just going on and on? Well, yeah, that's exactly what happened. He was caught sitting in his car in a parking lot, and there was a woman on the floor, and his pants were off. So I don't think it takes any imagination to know what was going on. And it was so sad. It was so very sad, because after he was caught and it was made public what was going on, he actually went on television and apologized to his congregation. And you could just see how much pain he was in, and how he felt like he was the lowest human being in the earth. And yet, had he loved himself enough to recognize that his thoughts were just human, and that he probably would do well with some professional help to help him readdress his thoughts and readdress his concerns and find other ways to express himself other than slamming other people and raving on the way he did, in such a way that other people just began to question if he wasn't raving at himself, which he was. But it was so so embarrassing. And it was so painful to watch the pain he was in, when after all, he was just human. And that's the part that little guys need to be taught. Little people, little girls and boys, when they're young, they need to be taught that they're going to make mistakes, no matter how hard they try. I mean, that's one of the reasons that I have some problems with some of the ways that some people minister to people, because they make it so difficult and so judgmental. And I absolutely can't tolerate that, because it makes it worse. If you can find a way to communicate with a person in a way that says, you feel human to me, you look human to me, when I hear you speak human to me, accept that you too are human. I think this is a hard lesson, but it's a very necessary lesson. People need to hear this, and they need to really absorb it into their psyche, especially those who've really done some harm. I mean, a lot of times you'll talk to somebody and they say, I killed my brother. And then when you really check it out, you discover that brother was a phenomenal basketball player, and one night they went to play and the other brother said something nasty to him, and he was upset, and because he was upset he played him poorly, and he fell and he hurt his brother, he hurt himself, and later he felt so bad about it that when he drove home he was in a car accident. Well, you didn't really kill your brother. Literally, you didn't kill him. Maybe you made life tougher for him. But by saying, I killed him, you make yourself that much worse. And that doesn't help you, and it certainly doesn't help your brother. He's already gone. But maybe if you just got in an accident, and then you could apologize. And think about it that way. Think about, if my brother had lived, I could have gone to him. I could have apologized. I could have made it right between the two of us. I could have corrected my errors. And you could have done it with his forgiveness. And that's what you have to remember. You have to know how to forgive yourself, because you're not always in the position where you can ask the person for forgiveness, and you're not always in the position that they're going to give it to you, because people are wired differently, and people may not understand what I'm trying to explain to you. Maybe they don't see life like that. Maybe they have a real bitterness from how they were raised or how they look at life. But this conversation that you and I are having here today is about recovery. And recovery begins where judgment ends. And the judgment doesn't have to come from someone else. It can come from you. It's tough. But you need to recognize when you're judging yourself, when you're sabotaging yourself, when you're throwing yourself under the bus, so to speak, when you're just giving up on yourself. Why would you do that? You can recover. Recovery begins where judgment ends. And letting go of judgment isn't that hard. It may seem like it at first, but start with small things. Say, maybe you forgot to feed your dog 3 weeks ago. And tell yourself, well, my dog's okay. Actually, he ate my brother's dinner, so he really didn't suffer too much. I know that sounds silly, but those things happen. They really do. Maybe somebody else noticed the dog was hungry and fed him. It's hard to know. But what is important is that you stop judging yourself about that. And once you've done it about that, and once you've looked in the mirror and said, I am worthwhile. I am not a person of shame. I am worthwhile. I am not defective. I'm just looking at life in a different way. And now I need to change the way I look at life. I need to recognize that I can heal. There's almost no trauma that can't be completely erased. It's not easy, but it can be done. And it just takes not giving up on yourself. And it also takes not judging others. Looking at yourself and your needs in the same way that you look at other people and their needs. And what they need is to have you not judge them in the same way that you don't need to judge yourself. It can be such a better world with more love and less judgment, more kindness, less criticism, more helpfulness and less ignoring people. There are so many ways that we can say, you okay? How you doing today? What's going on? You look a little bit off. I'm just wondering if something's going on you want to talk about. There's always a way. There's always a way to reach out to somebody. Even if you've never done it before, try it. You'll be surprised. People respond positively when you're sincere. So be sincere. Speak out. Say, oh, did I say something to upset you? I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. Sometimes I just put my mouth out before my foot, or my foot out before my mouth, or something, and I just don't think clearly, and I'm so sorry. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Try it. The rewards are priceless. Absolutely priceless. You'll feel better, the other person will feel better, and the recovery is right around the corner. I hope this makes sense to you, and I hope you learn something from this. A few ways just to look at yourself with an eye of love and kindness, and not an eye of criticism. If you got a question, ask me down below. I'll be happy to answer. While you're down there, look at my nonprofit, our nonprofit. We've run it for 34 years and helped a lot of people over that time. We'd love to have you check it out. Also, 2 of us are artists, and we've made things to remind you to take care of the planet. We only have one planet. There's no planet B. Thank you.